when I talk to somebody, I mean, it's all red flags, right? I mean, it's, somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, you don't know me. I've got this idea that nobody likes. Would you give me money?" I mean, it's all red flags. It's, nothing but red flags. Um, you know, that, but that's the job, right? That's the job of the VC, is to say, okay, in this sea of red flags, can I find a path through? Or is not even can I find it, but is there a potential path through? Um, because we bet on the outliers, right? We bet that somebody can overcome all those red flags, either through skill or luck, and usually luck, right? Because if they were incredibly skilled, they'd probably be the CEO of, Apple or something. Um, it's so, it's kind of a trick question in a way to ask a VC, like, what are your red flags? Now, if you're saying red flags, like, what would absolutely stop me and say I would never invest? It's usually either because the founder has been dishonest with me or
Mhm.
untrustworthy in some way. So they've told me something which turned out to just not be true and they knew it wasn't true. Um, or they've made me a promise or said they were going to do something and then just not done it. And this often happens when you're putting a deal together and they say, "Oh, yeah, you can, and you'll be able to invest this way." And they come back like, "Nope, that's everybody else is investing the other way." No, if you handle that correctly, you say, "Look, there's nothing I can do about it. It was pushed on me, whatever." But I want people who are going to do what they say they were going to do, and that's important to me because later in the relationship, after you've invested, uh, if they do things, I mean, it's you don't as an investor have control of the company. So if the founders aren't doing what they said they were going to do, you can get screwed, right? So that's one of the big red flags. I think the other red flag is people who aren't ambitious enough. So, people who are like, "Well, I can build a $30 million revenue company and then we'll sell it." It's like, well, that's not going to work for me, right? And a lot of founders think that's a great outcome, and it is a great outcome if you haven't taken venture money, right? You build a $30 million revenue company. I mean, that's a big company to have built, but if you've taken venture money, that's not ambitious enough. And I think if you want to find the people who are ambitious, and I often ask them, what do you want this company to look like in 5 years? And the correct answer is something like, I want it to be 100 million in revenue and growing, 50% a year. I'm going to take it public in, 7, 8 years. We're going to be the biggest company in the world. No, it's not that I believe that, right? I mean, it may be. I mean, well, it's happened, right? It happened with Trade Desk. I mean, if he had told me that, I would have been like, okay, sure. But it's the ambition that you want. You want people to take an idea and make it a bigger idea. And if they can't do that, then maybe venture capital is not the right way for them to go. There's plenty of other ways to start a company and raise money.